call this meeting of the legislative body in this meeting in this session of legislative body order at 3:15 p.m. Our first item of business is roll call. President Palumbo.
I'm here.
Chief of Staff Bracy.
What's up?
Treasurer Carter.
Here.
Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Chair Broyo.
Here.
Communications Director Bola.
Here.
Recording Secretary Foxall.
Here.
Graphic Design Coordinator Bizal.
Here.
President Pro Tempore Graysinger.
Here.
Senator Tudor.
Here.
Senator Mahan.
Reluctantly here.
Senator Wagenhauer. We do not have an excuse for them. Senator Real.
Here.
Senator Tate. We do not have an excuse for Senator Tate. Senator Woodyard. Senator Harris.
Here.
Senator Brown.
Here.
Senator Adams.
Here.
Senator Rangel. Senator Peterson.
Here.
Senator McHugh. We do not have an excuse for Senator McHugh. Senator Atkins. Here. And Senator Williams.
Here.
Now, our Senator Largest had class last semester. I'm not going to have class now, so I will call them out. Senator Fonatero.
Here.
Senator Bruno. They have class, and Senator Roach. As well. All right. Next, we'll move on to the approval of the minutes and agenda. Unfortunately, we do not have the minutes for this week's meeting. Recording Secretary Foxall was not doing well in the last meeting. Chief of Staff Bracy was tasked for taking minutes, and since it was right before break, things got lost, which is understandable. I take responsibility for that.
No. They didn't get lost. I just never edited them. That is on me. So if you want me to do something with that, go ahead. I don't really care.
So, if anyone would have any issue with what was, it would have been in the minutes, speak now. But we don't have any minutes to approve, so we'll go on to the approval of the agenda. The agenda was sent out yesterday. There is one correction to the agenda, the standing resolution S18-2024, in correlation with Point Park CARES project, which will be explained later during the business. With that correction to the agenda made, is there any other corrections to the agenda? Being that there are no other corrections to the agenda is approved. We now move to reports to open floor. Does anyone have, before we go to open floor, I'd like to address the elephant in the room here. Obviously, the heat was jacked up to 90 degrees when we entered the room. Physical plant, I believe, fixed the issue, but since it was at 90 degrees, it is taking considerable time to cool down the room, as it was very hot in here in the first place. So with that out of the way, does anyone else have anything for us on the floor? Graphic Design Coordinator.
I feel everyone had a wonderful break, and I feel, it helped refresh people. I don't know if it was just me, but last semester was very hectic. And talking with a lot of people, there was a lot of stressors for everyone. And it's normal, and it's a part of growth of dealing with these stressors. I will admit I did struggle a little bit going along with that growth, and some of my duties I, wasn't always present. But, from that, we can become better. And I just want to say it's wonderful seeing everybody here, and that I hope, coming into this new year, this new semester, new everything, there's a sort of vigor that's rejuvenated with this new beginning, and that, I'm excited to do either with all of you.
Thank you, Graphic Design Coordinator. Giselle, Senator Mahan.
If I could get Jill Stein to do a town hall here, would SGA co-sponsor that as a Q&A thing for students to ask her questions?
President Palumbo.
If you're talking about SGA is hosting it,
Yeah.
I wouldn't really see that as a problem, but we can discuss that. I mean, like having her here.
Yeah.
That yes, I wouldn't say like supporting or whatnot, but more so like having a space for a debate, a discussion. Yeah, of course, I don't say that would be an issue.
The sort of Q&A for like students to ask
If you
their
can,
questions,
sure.
or like possibly a debate if other people would be willing to show up.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Is there anything else for our first open floor? Being that there is nothing for our nothing else for our first open floor, we will move into reports for the executive CAG. President Colombo, do you have anything to report?
I do. Hi guys.
Uh,
I'm so happy to see you all. Yeah, I got this big of a room a little bit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17. Holy shit! Excuse my language. Are we all almost here? It's like, well, like, I'm missing one. That's fantastic. Let's see if we can keep that. Anyway, I am very grateful you're here. I hope you all had, like Melissa said, I hope you all had a great break. And I kind of want to update you on a couple of things, like the projects we've been kind of working on this whole first semester. Starting with Wi-Fi. Last week I had a meeting with Tim Wilson with IT, and I talked to him for 2 hours about survey and like what is actually happening from that, right? Did we actually get anything confirmed, any actual changes being made from the survey? Because you don't put a survey out and get nothing in return, right? So the good news is we got confirmation on 10 access points we installed from the locations that we had in the survey. They will be installed, cabling will be run. We're kind of at the discretion of physical plant because they're down electricians, and we need the electricians to like wire certain areas. And most of the areas are in Lawrence Hall, as well as West Penn and the University Center, like the lower level, lower level study rooms, because that was a big location on the survey. So those are all going in, as well as like the labs in the second floor of West Penn. I believe like just so there's always some spotty Wi-Fi there. There are access points being more installed there, and some are being moved because there were some there, but they don't work. We figured that out. So that's being fixed on right now as well. Good. That's good, right? Like we were getting something done in that area. So I'm pretty happy with that. As some of you may know, John Ashlow is no longer our director of athletics.
It was like
Yes, so there was an email about it. So as for going forward with athletics, I'm not sure what's going to transpire, but whenever a big change happens, we can kind of have a more impactful voice on that. So I think if you are passionate about athletics or you just want to know more information about it, you can talk to me, or we can put something together, and I don't see why we can't go forward and have an impact on the future of how athletics should look. Okay? On the same line there, Molly McClelland is no longer with us at the university, and Angelo Gargaro is now kind of taking over Molly's role in advising. Dean Giesky, do you remember the new title?
Managing Director,
Yeah, so Managing Director of the Counseling
University Advising Center.
University Advising Center, yes, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah.
So emails will come out for that. I'm just letting you know now in case you wanted to think on that or whatnot. So yeah, those are a couple changes in just that area. So we're hopefully, I was actually talking with Molly before she left. We were going to be tactically advising kind of pretty strong this semester because of how it's been handled first semester and before. So I will be working with more so Angelo now and see kind of his vision, what he wants to do, and that gives us another opportunity to say, hey, you know what, there's changes being made. Let's have the students involved in it, right? So if anyone has any suggestions, thoughts, wants to be involved in that, settle me with Angelo, settle me with me. You can come with me in those meetings. I have Angelo being invited here as well, so he will be coming here at some point. Trevor has done. Also on the list for guests coming, we have Angelo, we have Bridget Bankosh coming eventually. We are inviting her because I don't think she's ever been to an SGA meeting, so
We're gonna get her here, we need to talk with her. Hopefully, as long as she says yes. And Michael Soto will also be coming soon. Michael Soto is the Vice President of Student
He's the provost.
Academic Affairs, right?
Yeah, provost.
Provost, also the provost. So yeah, those will be the 3 guests on the list currently, and we'll let you know about anything else. What else on my list? Ohio Student Government Summit's coming up soon, so whoever's going on that, exciting. That's January 20th and 21st, and we'll bring back pictures and awards, hopefully. There's an awards ceremony there, so that'll be fun. PPU Cares, Point Park Cares, so that whole event, it is scheduled, it is set up, but we have a resolution here today to ask you if you all approve it, because they can't just say SGA approves it, or it's an SGA event, without, your actual approval. So we'll talk about that resolution today and get your thoughts on it, and I'll talk more whenever that comes up. And that is it for now. I think, yes, that's it for now. Thanks.
Thank you, President Palumbo. As for my report, committee assignments, as you know, the new semester has started. We have had a couple of departures within SGA, and we also have a new standing committee, the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, which, as per the bylaws, starts up in this semester. So with the new standing committee, we need new committee assignments, and I might also need to work around some other committees to make sure that they have the numbers that they need. So I will be going over trying to make sure that we have committee assignments solidified this week. So if you want to switch committees, or if you're interested in the DEI, especially if you're interested in the DEI committee, you can be in, I believe, up to 3 committees as per the bylaws. Yeah. Like assigned to 3 committees. You can of course go to any meeting you want, but if you want to be assigned to, you can be assigned up to 3 committees. So I'll be working on that. As President Palumbo mentioned, I'm in contact with people to bring them here as special guests. I'm going to try and get Angelo here first, then Bridget, and then Dr. Soto. As for attendance, today is a very good sign that attendance is going to be steady, which I hope will carry out for the rest of the semester. Near the end of last semester, things kind of lagged out a little bit, which is somewhat normal to see in SGA, but I just stress the importance of attendance. And if you can't make a meeting because of class or because of coursework or something, just let somebody know, and 9 times out of 10 they'll be excused. We just need to know. Adobe, I'll talk more about this in the Adobe committee report, but I presented the information for Adobe to the president, and we are still working on some things, and more will come in the Adobe report with more detailed information. Office hours. My office hours this week will be by appointment, as I am getting acquainted to my new schedule, and so if you need to meet with me, just let me know. And I'm usually in the office in between classes, but if you specifically need to meet, my office hours are that's all I have to report. Chief of Staff Gracie.
I'm also going to stand up because I have too much energy today. I have had a great break. I hope you guys did too. During my break, I've done a lot of thinking about the future. So what I think I'm going to do, don't worry, I'm not resenting anything. I think I'm going to disband the culinary committee. That doesn't mean we're not going to work with Christy. We're still going to work with her. However, I just didn't have enough attendance last semester, and it didn't work out the way I wanted it to. So that being said, within the next few weeks, I'm going to do another ad hoc committee for Pioneer Community Day. I'm getting in touch with, I forget her name, but Robert and I actually have worked with her at the Red Door. That is probably going to be our service project this year for serving Pittsburgh. What the Red Door is, it's the shelter down the street. When we volunteered there, we cleaned. I know that they made bags. What else did we know? I forgot, we were a refresher. You guys made bags
Corn.
They shucked corn, helped with dinner. So we're gonna volunteer there. We're going to try to do that. I enjoyed it. I had fun. I know you guys had fun. You guys enjoyed it. So I'm hoping that's something that we're gonna be able to do. But I'm definitely gonna need as many hands as possible to plan it because it's definitely hard to plan it by yourself. Previous vice president last year, Vice President Grundon, I planned it. It was still hard having the two of us do it, but I really am going to need some of your help this semester with planning it because it's something that means a lot to me because I love giving back and I know some people love to give back too and it's great because we're SGA. Office hours, I'm hoping to have a new form up within the next week and a half of when all of executives' office hours are going to be and I believe that's it. I don't think there's anything else I have to talk about.
Thank you, Chief Bracy. Parliamentarian Range, do you have anything to report?
Yes, I'm sure you guys saw it, but I finally sent the Big Little form in the discussion post. If you want me to add any questions to it, let me know. I can probably do that. And also, they sent a when to meet for bonding activities and stuff like that, and that'll serve for your semester availability for that. So that's what I'll use to like decipher what we're doing, like after lunch. Stuff like that, so please fill out both. If you really don't want to do the Big Little thing, if you're just like, I'm not going to do anything with my Big or Little, like I shouldn't be an option for them, like somebody should really just have a do instead. Let me know, that's fine, like, but I prefer that, and hope that most of you want to do it, or all of you want to do it, that'd be nice. Yeah, that's all for.
Thank you, Parliamentarian Range. Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Chair, Britta. Senator Williams.
What I asked, are there any constraints in terms of majors regarding screening?
No, I'm gonna do my best to pair everyone, like, for everything, like, as most things you want, there's a lot of questions in it, so like, no, you don't have to like have the same major as somebody else, but I do ask that question in case, like, that happens to be a decided factor, yeah.
Okay, Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Chair, Beauregard.
Well, over break, I didn't have typically and what you wanted in me, so this week I'm trying to figure out my schedule study. But focus came to the whole week, because that's the March 8th, and also DI committee, yay!
Thank you, Diversity, Equity, Chair Beauregard. Recording Secretary Foxell.
I'm going to your warm right now.
All right, thank you. Treasurer Carter.
Welcome back, everyone. Spring line submissions are open. They're going to close at 9 on Wednesday, the 24th. So if you're in any other club, make sure your treasurer's done that. There you go. They will be getting an email from me definitely today, so they'll know. And they have a schedule, so hopefully they know. Finance Committee, that means we'll be meeting the week of the 22nd, so block out your 5 to 7s. We'll probably do a Monday, Wednesday, Thursday situation, but that is of course dependent on how many submissions we receive, but we'll be in touch about that on Discord.
Thank you, Treasurer Carter. Communications Director Bola.
I don't have
All right, thank you. Graphic Design Coordinator Fazell.
Yeah, so, my big thing about going into this new semester is being proactive. And that's something that I struggled with last semester. And so when I got a ton of work piled on me, which thank goodness this semester my schedule is a lot nicer and more forgiving than it was last semester. But I realized when I would get very busy, I didn't delegate as much work as I should have, and I was not proactive. So a lot of the things I meant to do, I did last time. And so, if there's something, I've been checking my email. If you guys have any requests, anything you want to get out there, come to me, talk to me. Like, I would gladly make something. I'll gladly make a graphic. Like, let me know. Even if it's like something you're passionate about and you think needs said, you know, of course, talk to Lola, talk to Mark, but if there's a message you think is important or like something that you think needs to be made, you know, join comm committees, you know, like one of us. Like, you know, make your voice heard, because that's important than what you think and how you feel and like just how we can make this university better at the core of it. That is essential. And you know, I would love to work with you guys on that. And yeah, so that's my thing. If there's anything right here, right now, like I should know or I should work on or anything you guys want to like, you know, please let me know. But besides that, yeah, I mean, feel free to email me. If you guys want my number, just come up to me. I'll give it.
Thank you, Graphic Design Coordinator Fazell. President Pro Tem Board Gracinger.
Yeah, so really excited that we're all back for this semester. I know last semester a lot of us, including myself, were new, so we were a little bit more lenient on office hours. I am going to be putting a new form for the semester ends, but I really need to make sure you guys are doing it. You only need to do one a week. If you know have anything that comes up, you can message me, but I'm really going to be checking that weekly, and I'll be reaching out if you're not doing it. So if anything comes up, you know, I feel like we're all pretty easy to work with. I understand as the political semester goes on, things happen, but just, you know, just communicate. I would understand since I don't want that to be something that's like stressful for you guys, but I don't think an hour is too hard. I know a lot of us have office hours, there's always a lot of people in the office, so just make sure you're actually tracking when you do this.
All right, thank you, President Pro Tem Board Gracinger. President Palumbo.
Just one thing on that, and I know a lot of you have been contacting me, contacting Frank, whenever you miss, which is totally fine as long as you let us know. But really, the person you should be contacting is PPT Grissom, because they are in charge of your office hours and your attendance as well, when occurring. So just keep that in mind. You can obviously still message us, but you really should be messaging her. We just let her know like this. Got it.
Thank you. With that, we will move to reports of the standing committees. Rules Committee.
Yeah, we're gonna be going over the censuring process as it's detailed in the bylaws of the Constitution right now. Right now, it doesn't really make sense, and it doesn't really explain what happens or the process or anything like that. So we're gonna be going over that, and also gonna ask, and they go through the Constitution to see and the bylaws to see like what they don't like or what needs to be updated, things like that. And then I created a little process in the Gantt chart so that it'll be easier and more able to follow for our committee to do it on our too. So if you want to join Rules Committee, it's really fun. It's not only rules that we've gone to gold lines. So yeah, that's all.
Thank you, Parliamentarian Reams. Finance Committee.
Yeah, we'll be meeting the week of the 22nd. We're slated for every night that week, just we never know how many submissions we'll get. Odds are we'll probably cancel a few nights. We try to get through as quickly as we can. It's cool, we talk about money and we get to look at what everyone's buying. So you guys can come even if it's not in the committees. It's fun, in my opinion. That's all.
Thank you, Treasurer Carter. Communications Committee.
Just let me know in the Discord, or just let me know personally when you're free, so we can start getting our meetings, schedule it. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and like I feel like for communication committee, it's about communication. And you know, if you want something said or done, like please come on down. Like, you know, chill. I mean, honestly, had a whole discussion about like what's the best like Nickelodeon cartoons and stuff. Like it's a good time, but also we can also do. Sorry, I read into myself. We can work on important things that we're passionate about and actually like get it heard actively and work upon that. I want to hear your ideas. I want to hear what you have to say so that we can work forward and get that, you know, said. And so please come on down, you know?
Thank you. I know we haven't assigned senators, but is there anything for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee?
Joy.
All right, culinary ad hoc committee, you're disbanding that. Do you have anything to say?
Thank you to all of you who have came, the two of you that have came to my, meeting and my little, what are they called? What are they called? The people, what, I can't show you. Co-chair, or co-chair. Can't think of that, couldn't think of the word. Chris, or Christian for helping me with everything. It was fun. But yeah, we'll still do some stuff with her though. I'm not, Christy's not leaving me.
Thank you. As for the Adobe committee, I also am making the difficult decision to disband the Adobe committee. I still plan on working on this issue, and if anyone wants to help out, they're more than welcome to. However, I realize that having a separate ad hoc committee for this, in which barely anyone, or where we can't find a time to meet, takes time and resources away from other aspects of the Civil Government Association. And is why we are disbanding the committee. However, I have the final report for the committee. As stated earlier, I presented the data that I researched and found for Adobe to the president and Deep Halo in our meeting. And I determined that per user for the software is $141.96, and we multiplied that by about 500 to 700 students to get a range of around 85,176 to 99,372. Obviously, those numbers from that meeting looked a little high to the administration, so we still have to push and see what we can do going forward. There's discussion about maybe repurposing the Mac labs, seeing what other universities do for their Adobe feed. All in all, the data is all here. We have all the research we need. We just need to figure out how to implement this initiative towards the university. President Cuomo.
Also, we have a meeting with President Rosales this Thursday, and we're going to also be discussing if we can repurpose some funds, maybe redistribution of funds of the IT fee. I think that's reasonable to ask, depending on how much traffic is going in some of the Mac labs. If we can maybe, close one of them down and repurpose that money to go towards this initiative, because it's like books, right? This Adobe, for certain majors. And the 500 to 700 students were the students that we found from all of the deans that we contacted were the students that absolutely need it, like for their class. So if you're taking a class, you need, Photoshop, then that's accounted for.
500 was the amount that needs it for this academic year, but we increased the number to 500 to 700 because, as we all know, the university plans to increase its size considerably over the next few years. So we needed to take that into account, hence why we did 500 to 700. So that's what we had for that. And with that, the Adobe committee is can't speak today. Is dissolved. That's the word I'm looking for. And yeah. So with that, we move to reports to Senator. Recording Secretary Fox. Oh, my apologies. Thank you, Recording Secretary Foxell. Does the Student Innovation Committee have any?
I'll be putting a link to meet in the Discord, so you can figure out times, or anyone who's interested. I know we didn't do the committee assignments yet, but anyone who's interested, and really go kind of front load everything at the beginning of the semester, so we can just plan everything out, because a lot of things take time, so we have to enter all that stuff. But if you're interested in joining, definitely follow them, we can meet, and we'll find a time that works for everybody this semester.
Thank you. And with that, now we'll move to reports of senators. Do any senators have anything to report? Senator Tate? Atkins?
Just don't feed the fish right now because they're getting fed a lot with the auto feeder, and they might die if you feed them too much.
I even think Dean Palo went in there with a break and snuck a couple feedings in there too, because he was so worried they were going to die.
Oh, they're great.
Just so you know, yeah, let's not feed them, because I think they got a little extra food in them. A little extra food in them.
Okay, I'll throw them under the bus. That's fine.
Does anyone else have, any other senators have anything to report? If there are no more further senator reports, we'll move to old business, which we have only. And we'll move into new business with standing resolution 18/2024, Point Park Cares Project. President Colombo, do you want to explain what the Point Park Cares Project is before we go over the resolution?
Yeah. So this is basically our mental health initiative for the year. And I've been really considering this over the last semester. You know, how do you tackle mental health, right? We talked about this earlier. It's very untangible. So I came up with this project a few months ago, and I was kind of trying to figure out how to make this work. The main goal of this is to raise awareness, end the stigma that we all know is around. Even though I think Point Park does a better job than most schools on it, but still there is a stigma about getting help and trying to support yourself, your mental well-being, and as well as raising funds for mental health at Point Park. Basically, Point Park students supporting Point Park students. So in that regard, we are going to be selling T-shirts at this event, and the event is on Tuesday, January 16th, next Tuesday, from 1 to 2:30 in Heaton. Cassandra Moffett, who is the director of the Counseling Center, will be presenting with me, and we have a presentation together. We will have food from Culinary there, hopefully. Okay. Yes, we will have food from Culinary there, and we'll also have some graphics up with some statistics on mental health in general. So if you can be there, please, I would so appreciate that. Yeah, so that's next week, and basically this resolution is kind of getting your approval on that. If you want that to happen, if you want this event to go through, if you have questions, I'll answer other questions you have. I know it's kind of a small resolution, but I also wanted to get it across all first and see what you thought. So yeah, this should be it.
All right. Thank you, President Colombo. I'll read the standing resolution 1/8/2024. Whereas the Executive Cabinet and the Student Government Association has discussed and agreed upon Point Park Cares Project to support mental health initiatives on campus, and whereas to achieve this goal, SGA will sell merchandise that says Point Park Cares. Therefore, be it resolved that all profits in the sale of all Point Park Cares merchandise shall go to support mental health initiatives on campus, and resolved that the Executive Cabinet and the Student Government Association shall have the authority to oversee the Point Park Cares Project. This essentially just gives the green light to move forward here with the Point Park Cares Project, and allows your stamp of approval to have MRP do a little bit things. So if anyone would like to make a motion to approve resolution S1/8/2024, such a motion will be accepted. Graphic design coordinator Fazell. Fonatero. Yes. I was checking. Yeah, seconds the motion. Is there any discussion before we take it to a vote? Graphic design coordinator Fazell.
I just want to say, this project is extremely meaningful, and I think this can hit home for a lot of people, because mental health is something that a lot of people struggle with, and I know it can be stigmatized sometimes, but it's important. And this just is showing the support as we can do as to support people who are struggling with their mental health, and whether it's from people understanding that came from within yourself or from people you care about. This is really a amazing thing that we're actively pursuing and doing.
Senator Peterson.
Is this going to be like a one-time event, or is it going to be like an ongoing thing that we do?
Yes. So this is a one-time kickoff event, but as long as people are interested in them, I hope to sell shirts for the remainder of the semester. That is kind of the way to fundraise the entire time. So this event, I was hoping to invite offices, administrators, other students, faculty, staff, whoever wants to be there. Basically everyone. We send the email out today as long as this goes through. In doing that, so it's more of a one-off event. However, I anticipate sharing the video clips online, having circulating, as well as selling shirts for the remainder of the semester, like I said.
It's kind of more of a recreation question, but where are the shirts?
Yeah, I designed it. It just says White Blood Cares on the front, and in cares are in $9. So yes, yeah.
Back to capital. Quanto tempo desse?
Will we be physically selling shirts or is it just an order for?
No, we have the shirts now. We've got them for pretty cheap. That's like $2.
How much of them?
I know.
They're $10.
They are $10 a piece, so we're gonna make like $8 profit.
I already bought one.
But we got them for $2 because, like two something, because they're blank shirts. And what we're doing is we're screen pressing them on like Andy, because I'll be doing this and hopefully I'll have someone else help. But that's kind of how we got them so cheap. And we didn't want to make them so expensive because I originally had them on the website for like $20, $25, and I was like, no, no one's gonna buy this. So we have them 10, and we have 100 right now, 25, small, medium, large, and if they sell out, we can get more.
Since this is being pending for SGA, do we as speakers automatically have an annotation of our own, or we have to just?
Well, good question. $10 too expensive? I don't see why you can't do this.
Maybe other shirts.
Why don't we just debate this? And not right now.
A reminder that one needs to ask.
I don't mind giving a little discount, that they do. So I'll fight for a discount anyway, yes.
Senator Mahan.
First of all, I would like to say for the record, I think us having a discount kind of defeats the purpose of the
Yeah.
fundraising.
Yeah.
But secondly, I was wondering what is meant by like mental health initiatives that would support. Like, is there anything more specific?
Yeah, sure, there is. So I talked to Cassie about this in the counseling center, and we initially had a more concrete idea of what we wanted the funds to go towards, and it was initially supposed to go towards hiring a part-time therapist here, so or a contract therapist. My apologies, a contract therapist. And we went through the numbers, and the rough estimate was raising $10,000. Now, obviously, that's a high number to just be selling shirts on. I'm aware of it. So we're planning on a part of this, and as we go through, not just selling shirts, but also pitching to potential people who might be interested in future shirts and putting their logo on it or whatnot, or they're kind of getting advertisers to purchase stuff for our shirts, like getting their logo on our shirt, and then they'll be giving us money for that. Another way of kind of promoting it. However, the reason it's not in here specifically is because we wanted to, I talked to Cassie and she said that is an option, but she wanted to keep it more open in case there were some other initiatives that came up that say, you know what, instead of bringing the money that, this would be better.
Yeah. Could we do like a survey for maybe trying to figure out what people would like to see?
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't see why not. Yeah, absolutely.
Dean Heasky, you had your hand up. Senator Mahan answered your question.
Yeah, well, yeah, in a sense. One, thank you, because if it's a fundraiser, giving people discounts defeats the entire purpose of the fundraiser. So with respect, if we're gonna do it, we have to do it. And two, it goes to what you all said. One of the things that was discussed is that if it's for one specific purpose and we want it to be forever, arguably we have to raise the same amount of money every time in order for that to be the case, like for a contract every. So the reality of being able every year, and just because you all, as this year's SGA wants to do this, doesn't mean those in the future will want to do it as well. Every SGA gets to determine for themselves what are the priorities for that year, which is how it's supposed to work. So that is why there was a little bit of going back to the drawing board to say, okay, instead of earmarking it for one specific thing that maybe this year it works, maybe it doesn't, but in the future, yes or no, allowing for an opportunity to decide in the moment. So when we raise however much money, what does that money, can it best be used for in this moment at this time that would be best for everybody? That's what Cassie's trying to do with you all. And that's why there's been a few changes as to what we're trying to do.
Thank you, Dean Heasky. Is there any further discussion before we take it to a vote? Being that there's Senator Mahan.
Yeah. Sorry, Mark, you might have answered this already, but I kind of spaced out because I was trying to do the math in my head. Like, there, at $8, the t-shirt profit, that's like...
You're 10, it's $10.
Right, but not including the cost. Like, the profit is $8, right?
Yes.
So that's like 1,200 something shirts for $1,000. Like, did you say if there was going to be anything else like in the fundraiser?
Yeah, so I mentioned that, so I bought 100 shirts. And if we sell those shirts, the next batch of shirts, I'm going to be contacting, Chipotle or, companies who might want to invest in it or, help donate some money. We'll put their logo on the shirt or whatnot, and we will get their input, right? Their money that way. So I was trying to find other ways to kind of raise that money because selling shirts, as I said, is quite difficult to raise $10,000, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's another reason why it's initiatives, and I didn't say specifically in here what it's going to go towards. And it may not go towards a contract therapist. It just depends what really Cassie needs. I talked to Cassie, I said, hey, what do you need? And that was one of the things, but things may change as funds get distributed and how much we raise, right?
Yeah, got it. Thanks.
Is there any further discussion before we take it to a vote? Being that there is no further discussion, we will take it to a vote. All those in favor of approving resolution S18-2024, please raise your hand. All opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passes unanimously and resolution S18-2024 is passed.
This is like sidebar, but I remember the Senator at large.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I am.
Yeah. Chief Staff Grayson.
You are, even as a senator at large, you're still able to vote,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, but not proxy, so you have to be here still.
Yeah,
Well, that has
Yes.
In order to vote, you have to be here. So as a senator at large, you were able to still vote if you came to our meetings. The definition of senator at large is just that you are partaking as a senator, but you don't have the full responsibilities that some senators have.
the classic example
Like-
of having class.
Yeah, like
You still
you
want to be
can't,
involved.
you not being able to come here because you're at class. Because it's mandatory for senator. for
Now,
senators.
so is that changed now that I can come, or am I still a senator?
I believe that we will discuss this after. Sound good?
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll
figure
discuss
it
this
out.
after your meeting.
Even if that's the case, then we can always like discuss if that's a code change. I personally think it should be changed if that's the agency that's going down. So, yeah, but I want to look into if there is things happening.
All right. Now we'll move to after the presentation here. We'll move to our second open floor. Does anyone have anything for the second open floor? If no one has anything for our final floor, we will move to announcements. To celebrate Martin Luther King Day, there is no legislative body meeting next week. So our next meeting will be on the week after that, the 22nd. Are there any other announcements? Maria Lopez.
So March 29th, I've been planning an inaugural conference that's going to be focusing on domestic violence prevention as well as healthy relationships. We now have 2 project assistants, Catherine, Amy, I told you Amy, Catherine, Amy, and we are also looking to bring on someone else who is doing a practical, who also does marketing, social media, graphic design, those things. So building up OVW is what I'm really focusing on. Also, if I could talk to Mark about what you were saying about the t-shirts and looking for money, there may be some way to do OVW money as well. And if the therapist is going to be focusing on domestic violence, dating violence, sexual assault, and stalking, and we can kind of tweak it a certain way. So let's work with that. Also, Drew and I had a conversation before the break. What I'm planning is actually a filmmaking contest or digital media, some type of art contest, where we'll be focusing on healthy relationships, promoting healthy relationships, and also domestic violence, dating violence, sexual assault, and I should say prevention. And so our student CCRT will be up and running shortly. Now I have those people in place in the OVW. You're also actually allotted like $50 for every CCRT, student CCRT meeting you have. So you will be fed if you come or if you decide to join to do some of this work that you're probably already doing. But at least we can gather in 702 and come with some more strategic planning. My goal is to have it student run, all these different components, so that it's your ideas that we're presenting on campus in intimate partner violence prevention. That's it.
Thank you, Lewis. Are there any other announcements? Being that there are no other announcements, our next meeting is January 22nd. Has a one vote.
Sorry. I went about this one down a little bit. Honorable mention, Alexis and Drew did fantastic work over the break in getting our graphics done for one of our banner stuff. So great job. Great job. And give this out to Zane, because the fish are all alive. He set up the I don't know how to work fish. I don't know how to deal with fish. So I'm happy somebody joined us, Jen, that knew how to deal with fish. Or I would have been so screwed. Zane, thank you, buddy. Last thing. I would like you all to get with your committee to discuss time. Why don't we do it now?
Rules, I sensed it already.
Okay.
Yeah, we saw it.
If you feel good with your committee, you can go. But otherwise, if you want to stay, if you want to talk for a second, it's a time to talk before we all disperse again. Thank you. Other thing, I know I lied.
Okay. And what?
Oh, 2 other things.
If you want to move
to a different. I know. Sorry. Spring elections, March. Sometime in March, we'll send out the official date soon. We'll talk about it. But please consider running, especially if you're an underclassman. Most of us are upperclassmen. We are leaving. And if once we leave, people need to fill our spots. Otherwise, SGA and the voice of the students goes down. Okay? So please consider running. Please consider putting your hat in the race. You can run as the vice president, as the president, or you can rerun as senator. So please, it's very important. It's the first time in a while that we've had an actual robust group. So consider that. Okay? Thank you.
We can start now.
Are there any other announcements before we adjourn? If there are no other announcements, our next meeting is January 22nd in the University Center 212, and this meeting is adjourned at 4:05 p.m.
Riley said he's also